Welcome to the Look Good, Move Well podcast.
And we're back. Satya, you got some banter topics for us today.
Yeah.
What did you want to banter about that we didn't get to on the last show?
Well, I had a follow-up question from our icebreaker from Thursday's meeting.
Yeah?
So on Thursday's staff meeting, our icebreaker was, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Yeah.
But my follow-up is, what's the best piece of business advice you've ever received?
Ooh. Business advice. Well, why don't you start? Because I think you're ready. Yeah,
I got mine. I got mine ready. Okay. And actually, my business advice coincides with my life advice.
Oh.
Same in a way. Because the one that came to mind for me was leave it better than you found it, which is one of my little personal mottos. It's like, hey, you're in the kitchen washing dishes, wash an extra couple forks or something. Leave it a little, mop up the counter, leave it a little better than you found it.
Yeah.
That's one of my my go-tos. And I was thinking about...
how's that? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to get there.
My bad. My bad.
Okay. I was thinking about how that applies to business, because if you want to further your career, if you want to make more things happen in your business or your endeavor, I feel like there's a mindset of always looking for the little extra next step to take.
Yes.
Where instead of just my duty list on my job is to do X, Y, and Z, and that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to clock out. That's fine if you're that kind of person. But if you want to move things, then I think that there's a mindset of looking around for that little bit of extra to leave it better than you found it. Like, hey, I'm like in this project and I'm thinking of ways that this whole organization of this could be redone to be so much more efficient. Someone's got to take ownership of that. So if you just step up and start solving problems like that to improve things instead of just go with things, then I think that can make a big difference.
That's real. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Gosh. The best piece of business advice that I've ever received. I don't know that I have. I don't know if I can narrow down to something singular, because I still feel like I'm still a beginner intermediate in the world of entrepreneurship. But I've been trying to learn as much as I can. And a couple things that really have resonated with me is understanding that, at least in our business, we have a product that we sell, and so the product needs to be improved, and the way we sell it needs to be improved. So there's like what people actually interact with, and then and then how we make people aware that we have this great thing to interact with.
Totally.
And it can be like, I think it's easy in business to get hyper-focused on one or the other. Mm-hmm. You're out there just trying to sell your thing all the time. Like, how do I get new customers to see what I'm doing? It's like, I got to get more people. I'm going to do this marketing trick. I'm going to do this sales trick. I'm going to do this ad thing. I'm going to do all this stuff, try and get new people to do it. It's like, and guess what? The people that are doing your thing right now, if they were more deeply in love with your product, they would just be telling everybody for you. Mm-hmm. So take a break from spending all your time thinking about marketing and sales, and just go work on making your product better and your customers happier. And then you do that for a while, and you get your customers are happy and they're excited, and you've got 100 customers, and they tell 5, 10 people, and that helps you grow. But you want to get 1,000 new people. Okay, you got to get over here and you got to go find a way to capture new customers. You got to go market for a little bit. You got to work on that. So just really getting clear that there's sort of these two sides of the business, and not getting not spending too long hyper-focused on one area.
Yeah.
Until you can develop a big enough company or a team where you have somebody whose sole job is to be focused on that. And then someone's sole job is to be focused on this, and that's
we're not there yet.
We're not there, Okay, so that's I think that's a big one, and then maybe, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Great.
I think that's a good takeaway.
Yeah, love it.
Awesome.
Well, now we're going to talk about the opposite of work.
Oh, yeah. Which is?
Okay, I think the central question of this episode is, will vacation steal my gains?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going on vacation. What do I do?
Yeah. Which I love because it warms my heart because like us fitness people, you know, like we love our gains. We don't want to go. It's hard to get those things.
I know. Yeah. I actually just had this question in a DM today. It's like, hey, I'm going on vacation. Do you have any tips or tricks? And I was like, I could spit off 100 things right now, but I actually don't even know what this person, like, what are they concerned about?
Yeah.
You know, like, so I asked some follow-up questions. I was like, well, tell me about the vacation. Like, how long is it going to be? What's going to make it feel good to you? Like, you know, what's going to make this a successful vacation?
Yeah.
And for someone that might be like, I want to stay consistent. I want to be on if I go and I just let go of all my healthy routines and fitness habits, like I'm not going to enjoy my vacation as much. Whereas somebody might say like, if I have to work out on vacation, it's going to ruin my vacation. So the tip or trick for you is don't sweat it. Like you're good, you know, just go have fun.
Yeah.
When you get back, you'll be motivated to get back into the habits and the routines.
You know what this makes me think of is, you know, I'm a huge Ramit Sethi fan. I've been doing his courses way before he got his Netflix show and got all famous. But he's got a great podcast now where he really digs into couples' money issues and how people think about spending and how to make spending money more conscious.
Oh, yeah.
And he talks a lot about how to make your own rich life, right? Where people get in these mindsets of just needing to save and save and save and save, and then it's difficult to even know how to spend your money. And I feel like there's a similar vein of people who go to the gym a lot and feel really connected to fitness because you're going in and you're building and you're building and you're working and you're working. And then it's like, well, wait, have you ever taken the step back to consider how all of that can make your life richer by getting outside the gym potentially more and going on a crazy, like awesome hiking vacation or just taking some time off and knowing that you've built enough money in the bank, so to speak, to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, are you, what do I, like, do your habits and your fitness, I think vacation's a good test of something, which is not like, are your habits so ingrained that you're going to do it on vacation, but are your habits and your process with fitness so ingrained that you feel good about just like, I'm going to go away for a week and I'm not going to worry about it because when I come back, like I'm I'm dialed, like I do my thing. It's like, I'm not going to like lose my gains and then lose my habits and lose my whole way. Mm-hmm. I've really embraced like this lifestyle and, you know, 52 weeks out of the year, I vacation for maybe altogether 3 weeks. Like, what is that? That's not even 10%. That's like 7% of your year. You're still, you know, if the other 93% you're like super dialed and consistent, like guess what? You're covered. Mm-hmm. Right? These are your deload weeks. This is just an off week. This is a chance to go recharge and grow in a new way. So that's something that I know I didn't always have. Like, you know, at different times along the way, I didn't have the confidence. Like sometimes it's not just like, am I doing the right things when I'm in my routines at home, but it's like the confidence that you'll come back to it. Like, and I didn't know that throughout my whole CrossFit career. Like, I was like, I got to keep pushing. Like, we're on vacation. I got to train twice a day. I'm sorry, but like, where's the gym? Like, you know, we're visiting your parents. I'm like meeting my future in-laws, but I'm like, gotta go to a workout.
Gotta get some gains now.
Gotta go get some workouts in. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was like, I just don't know. If I let this slip, is it going to just slip? And I don't feel confident in what will happen if I don't stay connected to it throughout.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how that fear is there. And I think that's also true for people who are really afraid to spend money. It's like, oh, if I start going out to eat at the nice restaurant, then I'm going to get so used to it that I'll spend all my money and it's all gone. And it's like, if I go on vacation and I let this fitness routine go, I'm just going to get so hooked on waking up and eating donuts that I'm just never going to get back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think both of those things, there's some truth to that for everyone. I mean, the seduction of like, eating lots of carbs and, maybe lower quality food, or overindulging and drinking a lot and not moving. Like, if I spend 5 days doing that, like, I'm on the 6th day, I'm not like, I want to go to the gym. I'm like, well, this is kind of nice. Like,
Yeah.
we're certainly, designed as creatures to like take the path of least resistance. When you're training and doing your routines every day, like that becomes this like norm where it's like, okay, this is just my norm. This is not like, it's not easy, but it's not like hard, like, oh, this is so hard to do. It's like, it's just what I do.
Yeah.
And then if you don't do that for a number of days or weeks, like it can like the restart to restart that momentum takes a lot more effort at the end of it. And for somebody who's not super confident in their ability to overcome that can be scary. Same thing with like going out and getting, you use the money example around like letting yourself have really nice things. It's like you've had nice things often, regularly. That becomes like, you're like, oh, well, this is what I need. This is kind of my new
Lifestyle creep.
yeah, lifestyle creep expectation. And could you be happy on nothing? Like, you probably could, but it's so far removed from that you don't remember that you can be.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of, like business entrepreneur, coaches and gurus, like figure out what you can minimally live off of and like, make that your foundation. Like you can always come back to just living off of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like same thing with, I suppose fitness. It's like, what is that bare minimum that you need in order to like stay connected to your health and fitness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we both have vacations coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You have a major travel situation happening.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking in the kitchen a minute ago about how you were going to approach gym and work and having your routine disrupted. So you've come a long way since those CrossFit days of see you later, I got to go train twice a day. That's happening no matter what. So can you describe your approach to vacation training for you right now?
Yeah. Vacation, first off, defining what is the vacation and what's going to make it, a success, right? Like, we're going to be we're not going to be here in, San Rafael, Nevada, like our county for four full weeks, a full month. And one of those weeks, I'm kind of, as a family, we're calling it vacation because we're gonna go somewhere where, we've all never been. We're gonna travel with her Megan's family, and we're just gonna kind of like preserve, like, this is just time for us to be together and explore Maine. We're gonna be up in Maine. For the other 3 weeks, we're gonna be in Massachusetts, staying close to her family. And our kids are going to be going to camps, and we're going to be working, from remotely, from an Airbnb. So that's sort of like, I kind of am viewing that as like, okay, well, this isn't vacation, but it's also not like my home where I have all of my routines dialed and everything is set up for like efficiency and access to the right foods that I like and the gym and the routines. So I'm going to be adjusting to something that I'm calling more of like a minimalist approach to how I'm going to get my physical training, work, meal needs met, so that I can ultimately enjoy this experience, because we're going somewhere and we're spending a significant amount of time away from home in the hopes that we create lasting, joyful, positive memories with our kids, with our cousins, with my in-laws. Like, I want this to feel really good. I mean, I set an intention, early this year. We had like the New Year's, staff meeting where it was like, what's something that you want to happen this year? And I think I said, like, we're doing this big trip in the summer. We agreed upon it over like in the winter that we were going to go. We bought tickets and we scheduled like a month away. I was like, I want this to be super positive. I'm nervous about it because I'm going to be out of my routines, and those are things that I hold sacred and that help me to get the most out of life. But if I can make this a successful trip, and what would define success for me is that we create great experiences. I'm not so preoccupied with like needing to get to the gym and, doing all the stuff that I do here and, taking up so much precious time that we have around family, that we can actually have that positive experience. Like, that to me is going to be the win.
Yeah.
So, how do I take what I do today and dial it back, not to zero, because if I go zero for a full month, that's not going to feel good to me at all. Like, that's a sufficient enough time where I would start to call it, I don't want to say deteriorate, but like my physical body and my emotional and mental health would not be so good if I just was like, oh, well, this is the month I'm just not going to go to the gym.
Right.
But, I don't need to go to the gym 5 days a week and, spend an extra 30 to 40 to 50 minutes doing content filming at the end and, doing, the extra stuff that I get to do here, because that's how we've built our business and built our life.
Yeah. And so do you have specific training plans for that? Or is it more like, I'm going to see how this goes and try to fit that in?
Yeah, my specific training plans are that I've scoped out a gym that's very convenient to where we're going to be staying for 2 weeks in the greater Boston area. It happens to be, fortunately, I did some Airbnb reconnaissance. Mm-hmm. Our Airbnb is, 1 block away from like a Globo gym in this town that we're staying in, which is great. Is it like the perfect gym? No, but it's wildly more than adequate for what I need. And I'm like, okay, the kids are going to go into a summer camp with their cousins. We have a shorter, it's not like as normal school day or drop off pickup. It's a little shorter, but I'm going to go and knock out a workout. I'm going to train 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay committed to pump lift, what I've been doing. And it's going to allow me to just really max out on my resistance training. I'm going to take the 5-day training split that we normally do, and I'm going to adjust it and condense it into 4. Mm-hmm. And then I also know that I'm not going to have like my normal walking routines and meetings and my tread desk.
Yeah.
I'm going to wake up each morning, and like, I know I'm always up a little bit before everybody. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm packing my backpack that I'm bringing is my ruck. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to actually have my Go Ruck backpack that has a plate carrier in it, which I'm going to carry on the plane. So I'm going to be carrying a 45-pound pack on my backpack, but that's going to be what I bring with me, and I pack some of my other stuff in it. And I'm going to just ruck each day for 45 minutes to an hour in the morning before everyone's up, when I'm usually up anyway and on my phone and answering DMs and talking to y'all. And I'm going to lift. And then we're going to just get outside and do stuff with the family as much as possible. And that's going to be 3 weeks in a row that I'll do that, which is not a ton of time. And then when we go up into Maine and we're just kind of like out and about, I'll probably just do some fun, minimalist body weight workouts with Megan and enjoy that. And before you know it, we'll be back, and I'll like go and hug the functional trainer here at the gym, and I'll just grab hold of the cable machine and I'll just caress it and say, I missed you. And I'll get on the leg press and I'll hip thrust on the hip thruster machine very enthusiastically.
Yeah, that's right. You can have an intimate moment with the hip thrust machine when you get back. Yeah, I think that sounds great.
I think it's going to be all right. And the question, I think, also is like, how do I give myself permission to do this thing?
Yes.
Which I think is also, there's a misunderstanding of like, or there's a confusion around like, well, how much am I going to lose? Like, can I lose everything?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that is partly like an emotional thing, but there's also some like real physical, like evidence and science that we need to talk about too.
Yeah, let's talk
like,
about the science.
What is the minimal effective dose to kind of maintain your gains?
Mm-hmm.
Like, relative to how much do you need to do to really be growing?
Yeah.
You know, and this is for another episode, but there is a concept of like, this is the minimal effective dose for maintenance. And then on the other side, this is what you actually have to do to see growth and gains. So if I do this minimally, I can maintain. And then over here, I need to do this much or more if I want to grow. There's a big zone in between that is like not, it's just like extra on top of maintenance, but not quite enough to see growth. Okay, that's a concept that I think people don't really fully appreciate. You know, you're doing the maintenance plus program. Like, you're doing more than you need to maintain, but not enough to really grow and to get stronger and to build muscle.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Unless it truly fulfills you and it's like super fun.
Yeah.
You know? So getting to understand that like what you need to do minimally while you're on vacation, you know, maybe that's what you aim for. You're like, oh, I'm on vacation. Like, what do I need to minimally do? And it's like kind of what we talked about, like the 2x2 rule.
Yes.
You know, you need to get in and you need to basically like take each body part or each movement and like go and do 2 hard sets of that. And that'll get you by for like 2 to 3 days. And if you're on vacation for a week, then do that twice and you covered your whole week.
Yeah.
Go in, do like a hard push exercise, 2 sets that are like close to failure. Do like a hard squat exercise, 2 sets that are close to failure. Do a hard pulling exercise, 2 sets that are close to failure. Do a hard hinge, like cover your 4 major movements. And then get the heck out of there. Like, you could do that in the hotel gym. Like,
yeah.
I did that up in Tahoe. Like, I just was in Tahoe for a couple days, and I went in. I did 1 workout when we were in Tahoe. We were gone for like kind of a total of 3 days, and I did 1 gym session. And there was like a leg press machine, and I just like took 2 sets to failure. And then they had like a shoulder press machine. I did that, and then I did like the rowing machine. I did that, and then you know, did a little extra fun curls and stuff because I was like, yeah, kind of like I like this little pump I got going on right now. Right. And then I was out.
Yep.
And that was it. And then we just walked around a bunch. And actually, my little hack on that trip was that I just put my pack on, the GoRuck pack with the 30-pound plate carrier in it, and I wore it all day.
Yeah.
We went for walks. We hiked. We went up the mountain. Even when I was just hanging around, like I had like snacks and things for the kids in there and our water bottles, but I also had the extra like plate in there, and I was like, so it was just getting a little extra in, but that was it.
Yeah. Well, I have one tip for coming back from vacation.
Let's hear it.
Which is to reserve all judgment about how fit, unfit, yay, nay, how it feels. Just quiet all the thoughts for 2 weeks. Because I think the biggest time that you get worried sometimes is like right after you get back from vacation and you're like, oh, I was like on the beach drinking and I ate the things and I feel so whatever, and coming back to the gym can feel rough and it's gonna feel awful. It's like you can have all those thoughts. You can have as many thoughts as you want in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just get after it for a couple weeks. Let yourself accumulate that volume of consistency, just moving the way that you normally do. Get those reps in. And then after 2 weeks, that's a much better time to assess the impact of that vacation.
For sure. Yeah. It's almost like you can so on vacation, you're not going, unless you like go through the painstaking process of like, how do I maintain every element of my current routine while on vacation so I can keep whatever progress or whatever thing I'm doing, like I can keep going. And that can be like, some people might do that. Some people might have that organized, But for a lot of people, that's a lot of extra work that's going to take mental, emotional, resources to
and
do.
it's not really vacation.
It's not really vacation.
Yeah.
Or it could impact your vacation in a way that doesn't feel good, right? Unless you go on like a traincation to Austin with your buddies, and that's the whole purpose of the trip. So you could do that. Alternatively, you've got, I think, two options. It's like, if you take the full time off on vacation and you just go hog wild and do your thing, you're still not likely to lose anything.
Yeah.
Unless you're on vacation for like 2 to 3 weeks or more. All right. In which case you can kind of lose some stuff during that time, but can you regain it? Sure. But if you do nothing, then you just know that the first day back and then those 2 weeks that follow are going to feel rough. And you're going to be dealing with emotional, mental, like lots of negative self-talk problems,
right.
like what you're talking about. So just know that that's coming. And if you can just be like, yep, I'm just going to get back into the process. I'm going to, after 2 weeks, you'll feel like I'm back on track and I'm making gains.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what you're up against. Or you go on vacation, and then it's like, what's in between, like doing your full routine and doing nothing? How much do you need in between to, like, all you're basically doing is making that first day back less painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it. It's like, and for me, that's kind of how I approach vacations, is like, I want to do enough that as soon as I get home, I'm like, I hit the ground running, and I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this like drunken like hangover thing from vacation. I want to finish the vacation. We arrive home on Sunday, do a little food prep, wake up the next morning, like I'm in the gym and I have a great session.
Yeah.
And in order for that to happen, if I was gone for 5 days, probably need to get into the hotel gym 2-3 times, need to go on a few walks. I need to be making good food choices about 2 to 3 meals, and then have kind of like the vacation meal,
fun one.
right? So that's kind of what's worked for me. And again, like, I'm not in the gym at the hotel being like, yes, I'm putting on muscle, like I'm really getting
right.
it. I'm growing. I'm just more like, this is what I need to do so that when I get back on Monday, I'm back to like getting after my program. And that's been the sweet spot for me. And that allows me to enjoy vacation, but also not feel like, like the next 2 weeks after are going to be this slugfest, because fitness and what we're doing is such a big part of my life. Like if I came back and I was just out of sorts all week, I'm like, well, there goes a whole week of like work in a way, and that doesn't work in my life. But we haven't even talked about your vacation. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm only gone for a week, so it's basically
just the perfect time frame. That's what we're talking about. What are you gonna send it and just be like, we're going all off the rails and I don't really need to go to the gym? Or have you scouted a gym?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, for my program right now, I need certain things. If I wanted to do my program, I would need a space to Olympic lift. I would need high rings to do my muscle up work, and bands and boxes and like all kinds of stuff. So basically my approach is that I'm just going for fun. And I know that my bestie I'm going to visit my best friend in Richmond, and she's a member of the YMCA. They have a good gym there. And it's basically like, okay, I'm just going to like roll up to this YMCA and like, it'll just be fun. It's like, she's down to come with me for some short sessions. I'll probably realistically only get there twice over a week. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to do my full 2-hour normal routine. Just go in and have some fun and get some lifts in and try out a new gym, and maybe get her into something if she wants to, and just enjoy it more as a fitness person who just likes to kind of like check out a new gym from time to time, and then just come right back to it when I get back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about like how you're going to approach, because I think a lot of people want to know, like, well, how do you approach food on trips?
Yeah.
Like, what's your food situation?
Yeah. We definitely have plans to go and have dinners out and have some cocktails, and nothing crazy. We're not, going to just be like massively going off the rails or whatever that is. But I think that for me, it's just like you described. It's like, get some protein at the house. We'll hit a grocery store and I'll just get the protein that I like to cook and just get myself set up and make stuff for her if she wants. Protein, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, my yogurt, breakfast routine, all that can stay in place, and then just go out for some nice dinners and cocktails in the evenings.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds so reasonable and such like you're going to have a great time.
It's going to be great.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And you guys listening, you may not know this, but Satya is like so dialed on her training when she's here. Like, I'm over here like, oh, today I'll do this and I'll maybe throw this in. Like, I want to experiment with this exercise. And she's like to the T, like what is on the program, like follow it, like never miss anything. She's made tremendous progress over the past 5-6 years that I've watched her because of that, a lot recently. And so here's somebody who's like, doesn't just fly by the seat of her pants.
I do not go off program.
No. But she's going to go on vacation and she's going to just chill on it. And she's going to come back and she's going to be right on it. So that's super cool to hear.
Yeah.
On the nutrition front, I want to just offer this up. Like, I don't think that, so my last week that we're calling vacation in Maine, here is my vacation nutrition approach. Okay. The first 3 weeks that we're in the Massachusetts area, not vacation. I'm going to be shopping, cooking. We're going to be staying in a house with, the normal deal. When I go on vacation with the family, definitely with Megan, I like to explore the culinary scene.
Yeah.
I like to eat good food. It's fun, especially if we're going to be like in a new place. So that's typically for me and for us, it's a dinner thing. There could be another meal of the day that we want to do that for, but dinner's kind of the time to do that. So for breakfast, lunch, and a snack, I basically just eat lean protein. I have a protein shake, pretty lean. There's not like anything else added to it. For breakfast, trying to find just like simple, like if they make egg whites, like just give me a bunch of egg whites, or, the go-to if we're like traveling is just like go to a grocery store and buy a big old thing of like non-fat Greek yogurt, because it's a lot of protein, not a ton of carbs, no fat. Again, I'll get to why, but like big protein. And then lunch, find just like meat, just like a lean meat, really nothing else. Because protein is something that I still consider to be like, that's every meal, a daily thing. And what that allows me to do is if I just focus on protein and I get about 150 grams of protein in those breakfast, lunch, and a snack, then for dinner, I kind of eat whatever I want. Because like I have saved all of my calories and all my other macros for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't give me license to go and eat like 5 pieces of cheesecake and like, 4 pasta dishes, but it allows me to basically eat off the menu, whatever we're eating, and just be like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to have that. And because I kept everything else so lean, in quotes, with just hitting my protein, it's a great way for me to tackle, vacation. So whenever we do that, that's like always my strategy and my go-to, and it's worked for me a lot.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And being in a new place is just such a great opportunity to walk a ton and explore.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Get your movement in while you're on vacation. It doesn't need to be in the gym. You're not going to lose your gains. Be sure that you enjoy and you check the box of this vacation was highly satisfying. Mm-hmm. And that's only going to be something that you can know based upon what you want to get out of your vacation.
Yeah, for real.
All right. See you next time.
See ya.